Today I want to do a small unboxing video of the Luuv Action Gimbal. And I don't know if you know, a gimbal is something that stabilizes a camera, for example the GoPro Hero5, using electronic motors. And why I'm not really convinced of the Luuv Action Gimbal in particular, this is what I will be talking about in the next few minutes. Alright, so let's look inside the box. From the outside it looks pretty nice. It's made by Luuv. Luuv is a company from Berlin, and they, I think they had a Kickstarter a few years ago where they invented some kind of stabilizer, some kind of Steadicam, which was quite cheap for the time. And yeah, this was how they started, and now it seems like they also made a gimbal. Looking at the price, I bought it on Amazon for 329 euros, and I think it's I don't know, it's a good price. Let's compare it to the Removu S1. I think this one goes at 400. I by the way bought the Removu now for reasons I'll tell you about later. But basically I think it's an okay price regarding what this device actually does. So let's look inside. So on the inside we have this this, I don't know, hard plastic bag, and what we see already is FY, or I don't know, is it Y? I don't know. But it definitely hints at the Feiyutech one. And if we look inside here, it says Action Gimbal from Luuv. Okay, so far so good. I think the manual is pretty well made. It's really what you would expect from this kind of company. Looks very professional in German and in English. Yeah, so that's the manual. Then we have some kind of charging cable, I guess. We have, of course, the charger for the batteries. We have actually 4 batteries that come with the gimbal. The other 2 are now in the gimbal already. But yeah. So let's put that here. Then we have these kind of adapters that you can screw onto the gimbal in order to actually mount it to your chesty or whatever. Then what else do we have in here? We have a bunch of stuff. So basically, of course, we have stickers. Stickers are always good. Then we have a bigger sticker, and we have the Hero5 upgrade kit. And this is important because it says on the package as well, GoPro Hero5 compatible. And this is interesting because they have some kind of system where they let you mount some additional weight onto the gimbal, and then give you some added bracket to mount the GoPro Hero5. And basically then it's supposed to be GoPro Hero5 ready. Alright, let's talk about this bracket and all the other mounting options for the Hero5 later. Then we have a bunch of additional adapters and even some additional mounting options for the chesty and so on. Some additional stickers to glue it somewhere, I don't know. And that's about it. And then let's look at the gimbal itself. So it looks like you would expect it to look. And here, this is really funny. It says luuvstabilizer.com, designed by Feiyutech. So basically I think on the website, Luuv tells us that they reinvented the gimbal and so on for people who move. Yeah, but basically it shows us that this just, I don't know if you can say it's a copycat. It's basically licensed from Feiyutech. And I don't know if you know, but I think in the market there are more or less just a few companies that actually make the gimbals, and then you have a bunch of companies that license the gimbals and put their own brand on it. And this is one of the cases. And what you see here, this additional silver plate This is the additional weight that I already put on the camera or on the gimbal for the Hero5. And what you see here, this is the mounting bracket for the Hero4. So if I open it up here, there's a small wheel. I can open the gimbal, and there are the other two batteries, and this is how the gimbal is powered. Now what I have to do in order to mount the GoPro Hero5 that I have here, I need to exchange the bracket, and this is what I will do now. So I have to take this super tiny tool, which is for my hands, it's really fucking tiny. And then you have to remove this small stripe here, and then you have to unscrew all these super tiny screws. Okay, let's do that with pleasure. Alright, so we take this bigger bracket here, and then we just mount it into the same place. It's a little bit tricky because in my case it doesn't fit perfectly, so I have to use a little bit of force to put it onto the gimbal. But now it's on, and now let's screw it. Alright, so now this is fastened, and what I need next is this kind of I don't know how to say it in English, but basically this piece to put over the GoPro, and now I can already put the GoPro in here, and this is how it will look like afterwards. So that works, but what I have to do in order to actually make the gimbal work with this GoPro is I have to put this additional weight onto the gimbal, because the GoPro is I think it's heavier than the Hero4, and this is why the gimbal needs a little bit of additional weight in order to keep it level without putting too much force into the motors. So let's mount the GoPro. Yeah. So I think this is already the first issue. Let's now mount the GoPro, and I will show you what I think is the conceptually bad solution here. So basically we have to take these black screws and we just screw them through this bracket here. Alright, so I screwed the two screws into this bracket, and now I will just put the screws into the holder, just like this. And you can see already it's a lot of screwing involved, but now we're more or less done. Alright, yeah, I put it the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter. So what you see now is that the gimbal is already pretty level, let's say, because the weight distribution of the gimbal and of this additional weight and the camera is pretty much in the center. And I think this is important for the further proceeding of the video. Yeah, because this is the way that you have to mount the camera, which is, in my opinion, shitty, but why we will see later. So let's switch on the motors just to demonstrate what the gimbal actually does. So you see now I'm in the gimbal mode, and I can really tilt the gimbal forwards, sideways, all the way around. And now imagine you're going surfing or mountain biking or skiing or snowboarding, and then you put it on your face or on your helmet or on your chest, and you move around. This is just really fucking amazing, this kind of technology, but it has some downsides, and I will talk about those later, especially regarding this particular gimbal. Because what I did, or what I realized, is when I'm mountain biking and I want to change the battery pack from the GoPro, I have to, on the trail, unscrew all this shit again, and I have to unscrew it really far, because otherwise I cannot take out the camera, and I have to undo both screws, because without undoing both screws I cannot move away the bracket here. So on the trail I have to remove both screws, then hours later I have to put this thing away somewhere in the forest, and then I can finally open the battery pack from the GoPro and exchange the battery, and then I have to put everything back in, and that's really, I think from my point of view, it's really annoying, and this is really something I don't want to do every time that I'm out on the trail. So what I tried was, I actually tried to mount the GoPro like this, and then it would be sufficient to really unscrew the bracket only slightly, and then I can pull out the GoPro. Alright, I think it's more or less fixed. The point is, it's actually quite stable, so I cannot pull it out because of the material of the GoPro, which is some kind of soft plastic stuff, I don't know. Another thing is, I can still reach the shutter button, which means I can start recording using the quick capture mode. And also, of course, I cannot reach the battery door, so I have to slightly unscrew, and then I can pull out the GoPro, and now I can reach the battery pack and then put it back in. And yeah, this is already tremendously more easy to handle while out on the trail than the other approach. But, and now the big but, I think the problem is here that if you put the GoPro like this, you can already see it's completely going down. And I think this is also a problem for the motor in the end, because it requires a lot more effort for the motor to even keep the camera level. Let's see. I mean, it works. It keeps the camera perfectly level. Everything fine. So far so good. But what I realized when I first tried the gimbal out on the trail, that both batteries basically were drained after 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes the gimbal kept switching off, and the batteries were empty. And that's when I realized that this solution probably is not such a good one. But this also means, this is basically the second reason why for me this gimbal doesn't do it, because I really, I mean, of course I want to do videos on the trails and so on, but I don't want to, continuously work on the tech in order just to keep the camera running and so on. And I don't want to stop every 45 minutes or whatever when the camera has run out and really do all this unscrewing and then do the readjustment of the gimbal and all this shit. I just want to keep driving, then every now and then press the quick capture button and then just record some stuff, and that's it. And on the trail I really want to avoid to work on the tech all the time. So basically, yeah, this is the second reason why this gimbal it's not about, in particular, about the Hero5 readiness. It's more about the simple fact that in this bracket the GoPro can only be mounted in such a way that the lens is on the inside, and you have to do this stupid unscrewing all the time in order to change the batteries, and this is really annoying. But what you could say is that it's acceptable as long as you use the quick capture all the time and record only short videos, because then the GoPro battery already is sufficient for quite a long time of biking, let's say. But if you want to just record the whole ride, then it's not really an option. And then of course you have the issue with the gimbal. If you mount it like this, that basically the gimbal's battery runs out of power relatively fast, and then you have to recharge or take enough of these together with you on the trail, which might also be annoying. And the third topic where I think this Luuv, or maybe also the Feiyutech, probably also the Feiyutech WG FY or FYWG gimbal is not really Hero 5 compatible, is the sound issue. And I think this is something that was already covered extensively by other YouTubers and other mountain bikers and so on. But the fact is that when I updated to the firmware 2.0 last weekend, I think the firmware 2.0 was released beginning of April 2017. When I updated to this new firmware, I had a problem that I experienced already before, but much worse, and this is the sound problem. So basically what you have is you have the GoPro mounted into the gimbal, and the GoPro has a bunch of microphones. One is here, I think one is here, and one is here. And no matter how you put it, one of the microphones is always somehow next to the motors. And for some reasons, I don't exactly understand the problem. For some reasons, the GoPro actually records all the motor sounds, and this is really annoying. I will show you some kind of test footage later. But anyway, on the internet I found some ideas how to solve it, and one idea was to downgrade the GoPro's firmware to 1.5, and I tried that. But anyway, the point is, if you want to keep upgrading your GoPro's firmware, then you will have to accept that the audio is unusable if it's directly recorded from the GoPro. If you have some external audio recording equipment, then it's not a problem. But I think only the fewest people actually have additional audio recording equipment on the trail or wherever they go. And so I think it's really basically impossible to use the Hero 5 with firmware 2.0 or newer with this gimbal, because it just produces really shitty results. And this is, for me, ultimately the reason why I think the gimbal is not GoPro Hero 5 ready, even though they stated with this nice sticker here on the box where they say that it's GoPro Hero 5 compatible. Yeah, I think even, or especially since the last firmware update, the audio quality has become so bad that I think they should stop selling it as GoPro Hero 5 compatible, because it's just a disappointment, and it will just create a lot of bad reviews on their Amazon site and everywhere. Even though it might not even be their fault that the Hero 5 records the audio so shitty. Alright, so that's it with the unboxing of the Hero of the Action Gimbal from Luuv, respectively, as we have seen, the Feiyutech FYWG or WG-FY gimbal. It's basically exactly the same, which doesn't mean it's bad. It worked very well for me. I mean, it's just amazing to see a gimbal do its job and do the stabilization. This is really amazing. Yeah, but overall, it's not made for the Hero 5 for a few reasons. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you outside.